Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Coffee and Commits. This is the fourth episode now, so it's nice to see everyone again. For anyone who hasn't joined before, this is a regular sync with o1Labs where we kind of share more about what's been happening behind the scenes and just give a bit more of an insight into some of the work that we've been doing. We have a really nice agenda this month, so I'm going to quickly go through that and then I'll hand over to our first speaker. So we have top of mind from Deepthi, who's going to share a bit more about some of the exploration work we've been doing. We have a Mesa update from Shami, which is an exciting one this month. We have Anais joining to share some of the research that she's been doing into quantum. And then we actually have an ecosystem update live from Carol this month, which is nice to have an ecosystem guest with us. So I'm going to hand over to Deepthi. I'm going to bring you up to the stage. Hey, Deepthi.
Hey, hey everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
perfectly.
Okay, cool. Well, it's great to be back with you all. Today I'll share an update on some of the work that's happening behind the scenes at o1Labs and a few takeaways from the AI4 conference that we attended a couple of weeks ago, and a little more about an area we've started exploring. But first of all, I want to say a big thank you and congratulations to the team and the community for the progress that we're making on Mesa. Shami will share more shortly, but we successfully completed the DevNet upgrade last week, and we're on track for the Mainnet upgrade on September 3rd. So that's very exciting. Tremendous amount of work has gone into this upgrade, and I'm really proud to see us reaching these milestones. And so thank you everyone who has helped us get this far. We genuinely couldn't have done it without you. Cool. All right. So Nicole mentioned in the last meeting that we've been exploring how privacy-enhancing technology could help create greater trust in AI systems. And so with some of that in mind, I recently attended the AI4 conference in Vegas. And one of my biggest takeaways was seeing where enterprises actually are in adopting AI. And this is clearly, there's enormous amount of investment happening, but for many organizations, one of the biggest challenges is demonstrating meaningful return on that investment. So, that's something to be really aware of when thinking about products using AI. The conversation is beginning to shift from, simply asking what can AI do to asking, okay, can we measure business outcomes? Is this actually making meaningful changes? Can we show that it's safe? Can an organization confidently rely on it, right? Safety and compliance were some of the biggest themes at the conference, particularly when it came to deploying AI in high stakes environments and highly regulated environments such as healthcare. And one issue that especially caught my attention was in terms of liability, right? It isn't enough for an AI system to produce an answer or take an action. Ultimately, someone needs to be able to stand behind the outcome and explain and audit and verify. So there was always this human in the loop kind of conversation happening. That kind of reinforced our view that there may be significant value in looking beyond the model capabilities itself and providing stronger guarantees around the systems and workflows built around AI. So yeah, that was a very insightful time at the conference. One early example of our work around in this area is our contribution around Trace. It's an open specification designed to create portable, verifiable records of what AI agents actually do. So our team developed a ZK Trace proposal exploring how zero-knowledge proofs could extend, that Trace design specification. So the idea here is to allow someone to verify specific claims about an agent's record without requiring all of the underlying and potentially sensitive trace data to be revealed. So that proposal was accepted and merged into the trace specification. The work also helped earn o1Labs a place in the broader agent trust ecosystem, where we're now publicly listed as, as a startup sponsor. Trace itself is now hosted as a Linux Foundation project alongside an ecosystem that includes, organizations working on hardware, confidential compute, AI governance, and enterprise adoption. It's still early, but this is an encouraging external signal. It demonstrates the expertise we've built in zero-knowledge cryptography, and that it can be, relevant not only to blockchain, but also emerging challenge of establishing trust in autonomous AI systems. So this connects directly to the broader exploratory work here at o1Labs. We're going deeper into specific verticals where these trust problems could be especially important, and confidentiality is extremely important, including highly regulated areas such as legal services and healthcare. Both are interesting, like I said, because they involve sensitive data, they involve complex workflows and decisions for which people and organizations, need to be accountable. So we are actively researching these areas, speaking with professionals working in the field to understand the problems they're actually facing today. We want to identify where existing tools and processes fall short, and whether ZK, or verifiable computation in general could offer a useful solution that creates real value. And most importantly, we're, deliberately starting with the problem rather than a particular technology. We don't want to decide that ZK or any other technology is the answer before we fully understand what are the pain points and questions, right? So this is also still early, but these conversations are kind of helping us narrow down the problem space and identify where there may be genuinely opportunities for us. Cool. All right. So that brings me to another exciting update. Brett Carter has rejoined o1Labs. Some of you will know Brett from his, previous time with the team and, at Chris Zero. And we're very excited to welcome him back. Brett will lead the product development as we explore these opportunities and begin, turning some of these promising ideas into things we can test and validate and learn from. Cool. All right. And with that, I'll hand it over to Shami to share more updates about the Mesa upgrade.
Thanks, Deepthi. I'm bringing up Shami now. Hey, Shami.
Hey. Okay. So Deepthi said a lot of this already, but just to restate, because it's super important, we had a very, very successful DevNet upgrade, guys. So kudos to everyone who participated and helped us out. The feedback during the Mesa trail was actually great. We got a lot of it, and we took it all into account and implemented all the changes based on the feedback, and the result was a very, very smooth DevNet upgrade. So thanks to everyone who helped out with that. It was a great experience for us. We hope it was a great experience for you as well. It seems to have been a good experience so far. So there were no issues found, by the way, while upgrading. So really, really great. And what's up next, almost immediately in 1 week, is the Mesa mainnet upgrade. So super excited about this. If you haven't seen it yet, all the packages for mainnet for the upgrade are already released. So please upgrade. If you are a block producer, or you're running a node, or you have an archive node and you haven't upgraded yet, please go and check the version for the stop slot release. Upgrade whenever you can. The sooner the better. We are checking, the percentage of stake upgraded, and it's looking good. We already have a majority of active stake upgraded, so that's great. But the sooner you upgrade, the better. So anyway, go do it if you haven't yet. well, with the packages released, docs have been released as well. So we've got a few feedbacks, small feedbacks that we've already like corrected or improved as well for the docs for Mainnet. Check them out before the upgrade, please, as well, to make sure you know what to expect that day. We've also reached out proactively, of course, to exchanges, third parties, anyone that needs to upgrade, basically. And we are also like confirming and tracking readiness of everyone that needs to confirm before we do. On Monday, August 31st, we will have the go, no go call. We will all get together internally and see how much tech has upgraded. Is everything in place? Is everything ready? And we will let you know on Monday if everything is good and we are moving forward or not. So far, so good. So let's keep it that way as much as we can. We'll have an additional community call on Tuesday, September 1st, to go through everything that will happen during the upgrade. You can join us, please ask us any questions. If you have any doubts of what to expect, what to do, there's your opportunity to ask us live. And finally, on Thursday, upgrade is happening. So be prepared. I can't say more than that. Be prepared, upgrade your nodes, read the docs. And again, as Deepthi said, thank you so much to everyone who's been a part of this long journey to get here. So it will depend on you and us and everyone together to have a successful upgrade next week. Thank you.
Thanks, Shami. That was a really nice update, and I think everyone's excited to see the mainnet upgrade happen. Just on the topic of Mesa, there was also an important ecosystem announcement this week from the Zeco team. This is for anyone who has used Zeco or Lumina. The team announced that it's winding down Zeco's Mina mainnet deployment. They are moving to Ethereum. So as part of that transition, they're also winding down Lumina, the DEX, and SDK they built. So for any Zeco users with funds or other assets on the Zeco mainnet, you should withdraw them back to the Mina L1 before the upgrade, so by September 2nd, ideally. Again, for Lumina, anyone with liquidity or other value associated with Luma or the Solace front end, you should also remove the liquidity and take any action before the upgrade, so by September 2nd. It's obviously really sad to see projects that have been part of Mina for a while wind down or move elsewhere, but we're also super grateful for the works that teams have done on Mina. And we're also grateful that the code bases will remain available for others to build on. I will link the official announcement in the comments now, and you can find more information on the team's official channels. So yeah, anyone who's used Zeco or Lumina, just take a look at that update. Next up, we have Anais. I'm going to bring you up to the stage. Hey, Anais, this is your first Coffee and Commit, so give us an intro as well.
It is. Yeah, it is the first one. So my name is Anais Carol, and I've been a cryptography engineer at o1Labs for some time. And lately, I've been looking at some cryptography in the post-quantum world, and we wanted to collect some notions. We wanted to come up with some piece of informative. It's a blog post to start learning about what is changing with quantum computers. If you've heard about it but don't know anything about it, you can take a look at these educational piece of work that we've collected, and I really encourage you all to take a look at it if you're interested. We try to keep it very entertaining to read, but still giving enough hints to understand what's going on, what the risks are, and what action items we should start looking at. And it also sets the ground for next coming editions of this series of blog posts that we want to start writing more often. So yeah, let's take a look at what we were talking about in this blog post. So yeah, the first question is why we're bringing this topic now. Is the quantum thread in the room with us already? And luckily, the answer is that it's not quite yet here, but the migration is really slow. So the sooner we can start looking into these problems, the better we'll be in the future. So the thing is, the reality is that the advances in quantum hardware are faster than we ever thought. So we've been recently hearing from news coming from IBM, for example, who are actually creating these huge machines that are able to create many more physical qubits than we had anticipated in the past. But the good news is that physical qubits are not sufficiently stable to actually represent logical qubits, which is the piece of information that are actually required to run these post-quantum algorithms. And those are the qubits that we should be scared about. So those are not here quite yet, but they're getting closer. So the right time to start preparing for this is before an actually cryptographically relevant quantum computer arrives. So we're still on time. Next slide. So what is the problem about this quantum thread? Actually, the problem is there's not just one problem, but what we can think about is whenever the thread arrives, this will be like a treasure chest that is open in the future. So think of all of the secrets, all of the valuable information that today is encrypted and safe as of today. There is a technique that is called harvest now, decrypt later, that is actually happening today, which consists essentially in this: like let's collect huge amounts of data that is today encrypted, and then whenever we have access to such a powerful quantum computer, we'll start decrypting them, and maybe we'll find out some interesting secrets and unveil them all at once. So it is not a problem today, but everything that we're encrypting today with post-quantum, like non-post-quantum safe primitives, can be subject to such an attack in whatever future we are referring to. It's a kind of strange risk we haven't yet encountered in history, because this is turning today's secrecy into something that tomorrow will completely be unveiled. So things that are safe today do not necessarily be safe anymore in the future, and this is dangerous because it doesn't just affect blockchains, which is our main focus, but it also affects other layers of technology that we all use every day, like TLS layer, but also any kind of private network flow, any kind of encrypted backup of your information. Think of anything that today uses traditional cryptography, we could say, and it's very likely that most of it is actually subject to such a future attack. Next slide, please. Oh, there's no image. Sad. Okay. There used to be a nice image of a wall that was being hit by some atoms, but being reconstructed right away with some building blocks. So yeah, anyway, no, doesn't matter. We will create such a future blog post entry, and that image will be part of it. But yeah, so that was all to say that what we can do today is that the best offense possible is a good defense. What can we do to attack such an adversary is protecting ourselves today already. So as I said, when this breach comes, it will not be like a single event of things collapsing, but it will be a collection of years of secret communications, transactions, secret decisions that can actually be unveiled. So it's not one thing that will fail. It has the potential to unveil the secrets of everyone, essentially. So it's a bit scary, if you ask me. So what we can do today, at least, is we should start identifying where the vulnerable cryptography exists today. So we as engineers, we should be flagging what needs to be reshaped, changed when it will be necessary. And of course, start designing and start engineering with a modular design in mind, where the systems can use cryptographic primitives that can be easily replaced. Same goes for the keys and the formats. So yeah, this is just a very small set of action items that we have on our inbox. But yeah, we want to extend this research a bit further. We want to give more information for just regular community members, but also engineers out there, with more directed action items that we should start taking a look at. That will be part of a second version of this blog post, maybe less educational, but still interesting to read. So we're preparing that right now. And yeah, I hope you can find this interesting. And if you like this kind of content, please let us know, because we'd really like to share internal expertise with the rest of the world. So yeah, and we enjoy very much doing so. So yeah, thanks so much for listening.
Thanks, Anais. I have dropped the blog link in the comments, so you should be able to find that and keep an eye out for the next one in this series. Thanks, Anais. We'll see you hopefully on another one. So for the final update today, we have Carol from Nori, who's going to give an update on their side. Carol, I'll hand over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Becky. Hi, everyone. My name is Carol. I'm founder of Nori. If you don't know what Nori is, it's a ZK state bridge between Ethereum and Mina, secured by the Ethereum's own consensus. Our kind of showcase ZK app we're building is a token bridge. So yeah, I decided to give you some updates on where we are at and what are the plans for future. Next slide, please. So audit is in its final days, and by final I actually mean final. This is the last week of working with Zelig. We'll be awaiting a report from them after this. A massive shout out to Zelig team. They did a phenomenal work of getting into the quirks of our system. It took a bit longer than planned. There was a genuine complexity with the systems, and we wanted to make sure that all the checks are done correctly. So yeah, it's been very good thing that improve the system and uncover a few things that we had to correct. The generally access to Ethereum state, thanks to this audit, will be more accessible and more permissionless. One of the things that we also were looking at a lot, which is the operational hardening. So for the we also worked with Verdice auditors to audit the frost-based threshold signature multisig on Mina. It's a type of multisig that allows to make upgrades even when the hard fork happens. So for example, the Mesa hard fork, regular ZK app multisig might not be able to work with a signature-based one. We can have proper secure updates. So yeah, as soon as the audit report comes to our hand, we'll be sharing that publicly to our guys. So what? Sorry, next slide. So what audit finishing unlocks is actually community testing. So we are inviting all the community to help us test the fixes for the audit. So we are planning a testnet event, codename 2A, more to come, which is going to be very similar to our recent, well, not recent, our last Plankton event, which is one-way bridge. We want to make sure that all the fixes that we applied are tested on the real load, and that we can, show all the improvements that we've been working on. Most of those improvements were on the kind of behind the scenes on security and soundness of the whole solution. But there are a few user experience improvements that we've been working on. We heard your feedback during the Plankton. The claim window of just 15 minutes was way too low. So we managed to come up with a solution that allows to extend that window. So now the tokens can be claimed on Mina side for 24 hours or more window post the bridging. So that should make it way kind of more user friendly to use. Generally, we make the minimum bridge time a bit faster as well, due to trying to do some optimization on our infrastructure. And that will obviously come as well with the updated UI that allows users to try it there. But that's, again, as I mentioned, that's going to be one-way testnet. We are also going to run a bidirectional testnet, but it's not exactly the design we firstly announced. And I guess that brings me to the next slide and I think I want to explain. So course correction, the return path had to change. Initially, we set out to use Align layer for the Mina to Ethereum direction, the bridge developed by the team, but we are not going to use it. There are a few issues that we came across as we've been doing engineering with smart contracts, introducing some potential breaking as well as permissionless griefing of the state. There were non-functional Mina verifiers for the Mesa testnet, so that's something that we weren't able to test on, and it's something that we weren't able to mitigate. On top of everything, the service itself is being wound down, so even with a fixed version of the above, we had nowhere to run it, and even without the functional Mina verifiers, well, we haven't had any engagement from the team of Align, so we decided to move on. Next slide. So that is possible thanks to our partners at o1Labs. We have been discussing a lot about how to do it, and it's very interesting work that we are very happy to pick up. So o1Labs has created a Pickles verifier inside ZKVM, which requires quite a bit of work for us to integrate with our solution and replace what we had for Align layer. But the payoff is great. So it's symmetric both ways. Conceptually, this is the true Nori flow. We have no third-party verification services at all being done natively. And thanks to the ZKVM verifier, we'll be able to do the same flow, which is wait for the blockchain finalization, extract the proof, verify that on Ethereum. Now, this is exactly how Mina works. The whole concept of Nori was to be able to do it bidirectionally. And with Ethereum, we run light client inside ZKVM to create success proofs, but Mina have it by design. The chain itself can serve the proofs, and that's why we can use it. There is some, let's call it a verification layer that we need to add, which is just cryptographic conversion of a Pickles proof into a proof that Ethereum accepts. So that's exactly where the work done by o1Labs is going to be used. So we'll be able to natively verify those proofs on Ethereum. So yeah, this is what we are planning to work on. Yeah, so I think that's it. Just quick few updates. Go to the next slide, please, Becky. We will, within the next days, weeks, hopefully days, publish the report from Zelig, and definitely please keep track, keep an eye on our socials on X and Discord to know when the testing for the both of the testnet events will happen. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Carol. Really exciting updates from the team. Look forward to seeing the audit report and what comes next. Keep an eye out on the Nori social channels to get more updates on the testnet coming soon, and hopefully see you on another episode soon, Carol. Thanks for joining.
For sure. Thanks a lot.
That's all of the updates we have for today. If there's something that we didn't touch on that you do want to hear about, or there's something specific that you want us to dive deeper on, please let us know and we'll consider it for future episodes as well. Thank you, and see you again on the next one. Bye.